conversion to Catholicism of Candace Owens. Candace Owens left the Daily Wire, and it's widely understood that it's as a result of reporting on Middle Eastern conflict, which is itself regarded as a religious conflict, even though many might say it's territorial. And
it seems like Russell Brand might have gotten to the bottom of why people like the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro and the rest of the conservative media, and obviously the leftist media as well, have been attacking Candace Owens so harshly recently. And, you know, a lot of people have been saying it's just about what Candace Owens is saying herself about the war that's happening over in the Middle East, or her stances on other things as to why the leftist media is attacking her. But I think Russell Brand actually got to the truth of things, and he really calls it out here in this YouTube video. It's titled, this video is from Russell Brand. It says, Candace Owens becomes Catholic. Is this why people are turning to Christianity? Let's check this out from Russell Brand.
Irrelevant, one could argue, or they try to modernize it and it seems with hello there, Jesus is your buddy, and you think, oh, I'm not into that at all.
Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man.
But this video takes as its starting point the recent conversion to Catholicism of Candace Owens. Candace Owens left the Daily Wire, and it's widely understood that it's as a result of reporting on Middle Eastern conflict, which is itself regarded as a religious conflict, even though many might say it's territorial and is in fact the legacy not only of the Old Testament, but as much the legacy of the British Empire and the way that that region has been carved out. And Jesus, I'm not trying to solve that conversation in this video. It's enough for me to put forward my ideas on the nature of Christianity, not the true essential nature of Christianity, simply my perspective on it, and why we might be seeing a resurgence of interest in Christianity. Indeed, I myself, I'm getting baptized at the weekend. I don't know, I don't know at which point I'm getting baptized at the weekend there.
Len, I'm not... Which is absolutely crazy, isn't it? Like that Russell Brand is getting baptized, you know. I don't know the entire history of Russell Brand, but I know for sure, like, he was a pretty hardcore liberal, and he leaned into that lifestyle quite a bit. You know, there's so many people who are coming over to the light side, whether that's, you know, full on Christianity, or at least just seeing how bad the lifestyle of the other side is. Russell Brand getting baptized is awesome. But even people like Joe Rogan are out there saying, like, we need more people to believe in God, whether that's, you know, the Jesus God or whatever God. Like, we need more people to believe in God. And then Joe Rogan says, like, you know, our society needs Jesus. And that's just wild to hear coming from Joe Rogan. What's even more wild is to see people like Russell Brand go as far as to get baptized and advertise it on his social media. It's awesome to see, you know, it just is. It shows you that people can actually wake up. There is such thing as somebody waking up from the hardcore liberal side.
I'm coming to your Baptist church. Always get people when they're down.
So I'm pretty interested in Christianity. There, I've told you. I wasn't going to tell you, I've told you. So let's look at Candace's conversion. We'll talk a bit about my experiences with Christianity, and we'll look at Christianity's legacy when it comes to imperialism, colonialism, and violence, and why young people might be interested in Christianity when the world is falling apart, nothing's got any meaning, and all of the offerings that the culture gave us, the hedonic, pleasurable offerings of you'll be famous and you'll be able to sleep around and it'll be great fun, when it all just falls apart and dissipates into chaos and ugliness and lies and deception, and when materialism doesn't work anymore, why might people find an ever-loving, present God appealing in this nihilistic, barren, empty, horrific world where even nature, even by its advocates, is seen simply as a resource rather than a sacred part of who all of us truly are? Let's get into it. Candace Owens has converted to Catholicism, describing it as a decision to go home. The pundit posted 2 photos of her at the church holding a candle and posing with Father Julian Large, who serves as provost of the oratory. Large is described as one of the best-known preachers in England by a Christian aid group. I didn't know they was in England, that's cool. By a Christian aid group, Nazarene. Owens said she would reveal more about her conversion at a later date. Here is the post from Candace Owens. I didn't know that it was in England. Recently, I made the decision to go home. To England? No, to Jesus. There is, of course, so much more that went into the...
And notice how it's around this time that Candace Owens started waking up to a lot of other things, particularly within the stuff that's happening over in the Middle East, but also things that are happening over at the Daily Wire, and how whatever they're pushing over the Daily Wire isn't actually good for the country overall, and they don't actually care about the well-being for the country overall, or the world overall, for that matter. They only care about generating revenue. And that's when Candace Owens, around this time right here, where, you know, she fully embraced her Catholicism, her Christianity again. And it's around this time whenever she started really butting heads with the others, like Ben Shapiro at the Daily Wire. And around this time when she got, you know, fired from the Daily Wire. This probably has something to do with this, and not just her seeing the truth of the Daily Wire and the company that she worked for and the fact that they don't care about making the country or the world a better place, but also probably just the fact that she got, she's embracing her Catholicism. That probably plays a part in it, for sure. If Ben Shapiro is as loyal to his people as he seems like he is, then this will probably make him pretty angry to see one of his employees do something like this, make this kind of post.
The decision, and that I plan to share in the future. But for now, praise be to God for his gentle but relentless guiding of my heart towards truth. And then she's got a scriptural quote. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I do not fear, Christ is King. Christ is King has sort of become Candace Owens' catchphrase extraordinarily. But God, isn't that verse so beautiful? In a sense, I think we can, in a way, hang the entire argument just around this piece of scripture. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Do you sometimes feel incredible despair and loneliness and hopelessness and think, oh no, I don't know what's going to make me feel any better than this? My options are either things just radically change through chance and happenstance and coincidence and stuff.
If you enjoy content like this, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
Crossing my fingers pretty hard, man. Or maybe, love or some external thing. But after a while, certainly when, God, if you're my age, you realize, or you've been shown, I've been shown, no material thing is going to work for you ever. It doesn't matter if you become successful. It doesn't matter if you become famous. In fact, those things might invert and metastasize into absolute horrors before your very eyes. That's certainly what I've experienced. It doesn't even matter if you have a family, even though, of course, there are great values and incredible beauty to be had in the life of a family. In the end, the material world, as I was once told by a Hindu monk after receiving a meditation, because I'm coming via the New Age route, of course, you'll understand, said to me, the material world has got nothing else to give you, Russell. It can only take from you. I didn't like being told that. It upset me a great deal, but it has proven to be true. While this world is falling apart around us, while we're seeing the rise of deception and of lies, the centralization of powers, the inability to tell the truth, the increasing of authoritarianism, isn't it clear that people might start looking for something extraneous to that modality when it comes to a solution? Now,
while this is true, what Russell Brand is saying, the material world can only provide you so much joy, so much happiness, and at a certain point, the material world can only take from you. You do have to also realize that you can't just become like a hippie and not try to make more money, not try to get in good shape and things like this. Like, you have to still chase after those things, because if you don't, then all the people who do only care about material things and haven't given their life to God, or haven't devoted their life to any sort of religion or anything, and care less about material things, the people who aren't like that and who do just care about material things, they're just going to take over the world. The reason why Russell Brand has such a platform on YouTube and is able to spread this good word, like this great video that he's making right here, is because he built up his money, his fame, his notoriety. That's why this is able to reach so many people, because he had those things built up in the material world. So it's very important for good people to also optimize their life, not just with physical things, obviously, also with spirituality and everything, but don't just completely neglect getting a well-paying job at the very least. But making a lot of money would be better. Becoming really powerful would be better for the world overall, especially if you are someone who is spiritual and does believe in God. Like, don't see those things as an evil thing. You should still be trying to get money and power and be in good shape and still optimize your physical world, like the world around you should still be optimized, especially if you're someone who has a good heart and who wants to spread the word of God and stuff like that, like Russell Brand is doing here. You should definitely be optimizing those things as well, and don't just completely neglect them. So I agree with Russell Brand that at a certain point, the material world can't provide you any more joy or happiness. It has to come from a spiritual source. But I think a lot of people take this the wrong way, and they think, oh, thank God Russell Brand is telling me this. Now I can just neglect all of my responsibilities. I don't have to chase after making more money, improving in life in any way. I can just become super fat. And as long as I have God and I get baptized, then I'll be okay. I'll just be happy. That's not how it works. There is some happiness to being in really good shape. There is some happiness to being in having a good relationship, having a family, making a lot of money, having nice things. There is some happiness to be had there. It's just not the end all be all. And it's also very important, like I said earlier, for good people to have that money and power and fame and notoriety and reach so that we can spread good words. Because if we don't even try after that, then it's just going to be all people who only care about those things, which is not obviously a good thing at all.
In a minute, we'll be talking about a David Icke post where he criticises me, among others, for our conversions or our affections and devotion towards Christianity. And I'm very sympathetic towards David Icke. In fact, cards on the table, I like David Icke a lot. And I feel that I understand where he's coming from, because you could regard Christianity as just another institution and a system of power. But I'm going to explain to you in a minute why I don't see it that way. Let's get into this with a few news articles about, first of all, the rise of interest in spirituality and the...
Let's not get into the, the Christianity. Is it a power? Like, is it just a play for power? It could be, in my opinion, it could be. Like, if everybody is so, we're all in agreement that the school system is kind of just a ploy to create worker bees, basically create slaves. Why wouldn't the religions also be corrupted? Well, this is just how I view it. I'm not following the Christian religion. I'm just following Christ. Like, I'm not following what any human tells me to do within that religion. That's just how I view it personally. You don't have to be that way at all. That's just how I view it. I'm following like the word of Christ and not the word of any human. And yeah, that's how I see it. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you're thinking about Russell Brand, in my opinion, revealing the true reason why Candace Owens is being shunned from everything is because she's embracing that side, completely embracing Catholicism and Christianity. I think that's why the powers that be are saying to the Daily Wire and to the other conservative Inc. corporations out there, we have to shun Candace Owens because she's being serious about this. And, it's not like those other fake Christians out there that just like to grift off the religion, where they'll call out certain things that are happening, but when it comes to the Middle East stuff, or when it comes to the things that are supposed to be off limits, they're not willing to call those out. They're not willing to stand on their opinions. Candace Owens actually is willing to stand on those things, and I think that's why she's being shunned. At least plays a big role in it. Let me know if this is a reach. If this video is a reach, I'm not sure. I don't think it is at all, but I'm sure some of you in the comments will think it is. Let me know what you're thinking about this whole Russell Brand and Candace Owens video.